and he has a child. I think a daughter, correct? Yeah. So then, the question is, if any one of us were in Steve's shoes, or if anyone was in rather Steve's wife's shoes, like in her position, would you guys agree with what he's doing? How he's devoting most of his time to go see Steve, because you know that he will not spend as much time with his family as he would with Steve, even though he just wanted to help them out. Do you guys think that if you were Steve's wife, do you think that it would affect you guys?
Aren't Steve and his wife divorced?
No, they're not divorced.
So what's up with his ex-wife?
That was in the movie remake that they did with Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, there are some differences.
In the movie, he was divorced. He lived alone, and he had a son about I think he was off to college. But in the book, no, he was not.
He changed it.
Yeah. So how do you guys think? Like, how would you guys react towards
I
this?
agree.
Isn't Lopez's wife also a reporter or a social worker of some sort?
No,
I think she's a teacher.
I'm not sure. I thought she was a stay-at-home.
Even in that case, if she is a teacher, then she would be used to sympathizing with Steve, because as a teacher, it's their responsibility to understand their students and to help them through their difficult times. And I think for Steve, he's going through a difficult time trying to aid Nathaniel. So in his wife's shoes, she's in a position where she doesn't get to see him often. Nathaniel's taking up most of that time with Steve, so Steve doesn't really have that much time to be with his family. So in her perspective, I think that I would try to understand where she would be coming from. But in this case, I think as a reporter, Steve's usually doing this kind of thing where he's away and he's doing research for his columns. So as a wife to Steve Lopez, then she should just be used to it by this point, shouldn't she?
Yeah, I think she should.
I think she might get annoyed by the fact that he's spending all that money on him, and like when he goes out to buy all the equipment for him, he spends like $600, and all Nathaniel says, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Lopez." But like, and also like he goes out to sleep with like just to be in his shoes and see what his world is. I think his wife at some area, sometime, she would be obviously mad.
They're professionals, but then they also have a personal life.
Yeah.
I understand that she's a teacher or is a teacher or whatever, but as a person, you also want the love and affection of whoever your loved one is, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you would not want to like not see them all the time, and it wouldn't agitate you because they are your loved one, and then why are they going out so like for so long, and they're paying little attention for you. And I would understand if it was like for 2, 3, or even 6 months, but for 2 whole years, he barely paid any attention to his wife, his daughter, and he spent most of it with Steve. I
don't think it was 2 years he spent most of it. I think there are times, that's the way the book made it
Yeah,
seem.
that's just the way the book is.
There were times where him and Nathaniel,
like they don't mention
it was on and off. Within the 2 years, it was on and off. Like,
but you would never hear about like is he even spending time with his wife or daughter?
No, I'm sure he is. Like
he goes home. I understand
the
time. I understand the time where he took Nathaniel to his house for Easter. I think it was Christmas and his not his birthday. Never mind. But still, like, how come he never said that? Oh, like I'm doing stuff with my daughter and my wife. It just makes you think like, what's going on there? And they're like, what are they thinking about this? Right?
Yeah, I think that's just one of the things he never either focused too much on or focused in the book. Maybe he was trying to focus the character and his development with Nathaniel.
Yeah, I think so too, because it is a non-fiction story. The author is the protagonist. So I think that maybe it was intentional for him to focus most of the story on his efforts with Nathaniel, other than the times he spends doing other things.
The book will focus on family.
Alright, so coming back to the bond between Steve and Nathaniel, they're pretty good friends. You guys will agree, yes?
Yeah.
We've seen a close bond like this before in other books that we've read. Like I would like to go back to the Kite Runner.
Yeah, Hassan and
you will see Hassan and Amir.
Yeah.
You know, like, how is the relationship between Steve and Nathaniel similar to that of Hassan and Amir's?
I don't think it's similar. I think it's with Hassan and Amir. It's more one way that you see Hassan loyal to him, loyal to his master almost, because he is after all, he is the servant.
Technically, yes.
But here it's more like they're trusting each other. They're kind of dependent on each other in some ways. You can argue. So I think it's kind of different.
He does show loyalty though to Steve.
No, but you could also argue that the other way, that Nathaniel was that Steve was showing loyalty towards Nathaniel because he wouldn't leave his side. You know
I think
what I'm
that's more
saying?
Yeah, but he does get mad. Like after when he yells at him in his apartment, he just goes off to the bar or whatever, and he says, "Oh, I'm not mad that he yelled at me. I just want to see what will happen after." And then and then next time when Nathaniel goes to talk to him, it's almost that he forgets that he got mad at him before. He just goes back to the normal mindset, and Steve says that, "Oh, okay, everything's going good again."
Yeah.
I think they're different.
Also, there's another book that relates to this called Shattered, and then you know that the main character, the protagonist, and there's a homeless guy, Jack. So how do you think Jack and the protagonist in Shattered relate to Nathaniel and Steve Lopez? And
I think there are some similarities and differences because both Steve and Ian, they were two characters who came across Nathaniel and Jacques respectively, where as the story progresses you learn more about the characters. Like we learned that Jacques is a veteran from, which war was it?
Africa? Somewhere in Africa.
No, I think it was like Scotland.
No, it was Rwanda. It was Rwanda
genocide.
Yeah.
No, that's another book though.
No. Well, that actually
It's not the Rwanda genocide.
And you will see that he's the only reason he's in that condition of being a homeless man from the army to being a homeless man was because after the genocide, the memories, the atrocities he's seen, that like he couldn't get rid of them from his mind, so he started drinking a lot.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah. It's just like Nathaniel's schizophrenia. How they both had mental problems after, and then it results in them living in the streets because they're mental issues. So they relate a lot right there.
So they both had mental illnesses, but they ended up on the streets and poverty-stricken. I think that the fact that they both had these problems and they couldn't get it resolved is one of the reasons why I think that society is to blame for this. Because if we look at Shattered, we see that Jacques blames racism for the cause of everything. And in Soloist, we don't really understand Nathaniel because there are so many different factors. So I think that's one similarity.
Okay, just to wrap it up, do you guys think the book was a happy ending?
How
what do you guys
do you
think?
feel?
Because I feel like because since it's a non-fiction and it's about someone's life, I think it's that it just continues. And I read more about this online, and it was just that you see Nathaniel doing the same old thing, working on the streets, and there's some videos of Nathaniel and Steve together.
No, but the way that the book ended up, right? You would think that because Nathaniel got his studio and all that, you would think that it's a happy ending, or he would practice more or have his own studio, then he would continue to live at Lamb. And hopefully somewhere down the line, he would get rehabilitation or help. But according to what you're saying, not much has changed at all.
Stuff has changed. I think it's actually a good ending because, if you read after the book, it shows that he's still getting treatment. Like first of all, he's happy, number one, so that should be a good enough reason for it to be a good ending. And the second, if you compare Nathaniel at the beginning to Nathaniel at the end, is a very, very big difference in like the way he is. He's a much more positive person, and he has someone there for him before he didn't. So.
But did the author intend for it to be a happy ending kind of story? Because it is non-fiction.
Here's the thing: when it's a happy ending, you would expect that the story is over.
The story's not over.
The story's not over because
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think
it's a real life story. It's not a fairy tale where where everything is happy and all is joyous. Obviously, he's gonna face more struggles in his life because we haven't even got to the part where he actually gets treatment. We don't know how that went. So you can't really say it's a happy ending, but it's not a sad ending either. You just know that they ended up on a good note.
So instead of saying a happy ending, you could see that it's a open ending because there's no definitive end to it.